the need for certain actions to be taken, a committee must be set to look into this. On this occasion, Mr. Speaker was dealing with a disorderly conduct which took place at the committee level, where the chairman of the committee had a mandate to deal with the matters. He now says that he has, on his own, suspended these members without hearing them. The chair of the committee did not communicate anything to the speaker. Neither did the speaker invite any of us in leadership for any discussion. In any event, even where there is punishment, our rules are clear. It can be for 4 days, 8 days, or 12 days according to Order 130. Can a judge shoot a thief on the streets merely because it is his view that the person has stolen, without taking him through the process of evidence gathering? What becomes of the old saying that if all men find a man's hand in a till, his guilt must be proven? We are aware that the NDC majority itself has disrespected or disregarded Mr. Speaker's orders. In fact, on the day, one of his consequential orders was to the effect that the selection committee must meet immediately and reconstitute the appointment committee. The NDC majority Caucus decided to proceed with the vetting without any due regard. Well, on our part, we believe that though we disagree with Mr. Speaker, out of deference to him, we must still engage him. And we would engage him. In fact, we started this engagement over the weekend. The majority leader and my good self had extensive discussions. He elected to reach out to Mr. Speaker and get back to me. I tried to reach out to Mr. Speaker. I wasn't successful. Throughout the weekend, the majority leader and I were in touch, and the feedback from him was that he hadn't been successful in getting to Speaker. Today is Monday. We believe that Mr. Speaker would be in the office. We believe that we'll be able to see him and take our discussions further. Meanwhile, as a responsible caucus, we are going to ferry our concerns in a memo to his office. And we believe that that would even form the basis for the discussion. We don't know how to treat Mr. Speaker's communication, whether it's a ruling or communication properly so-called, because there is a provision in the orders where if there is a motion or a matter comes to the fore, Mr. Speaker would rule on the matter. And if there's a ruling, then you would have to rely on the rules to also challenge his ruling by filing a motion. That's what the rule says. But this is similar to the matter of Dr. Atuforsen on the vacant seats, where he relied on our orders to say he was raising a matter of national interest. I'm sure you may recall that when the matter went to the Supreme Court and all, Mr. Speaker said, oh, he only delivered a communication. He shared an opinion with us. So we are also careful in how to approach it. We want to be sure exactly what Mr. Speaker meant. But in substance, he's taking actions that have affected the rights of our colleagues in Parliament. And we believe that the right thing to do is to grant these affected members hearing. We have also taken the matter up. We have escalated the matter to our party level. MPP Minority Caucus is a wing of the MPP in Parliament. So we have also communicated this matter to party headquarters. The national chairman, the general secretary, and the national executives have become aware of this, and they take the matter seriously. They are not taking it lightly at all. They believe that the diplomatic channels must remain open. But we want to say this with emphasis. This mighty few, this happy few, will not allow itself to be intimidated. We will never surrender to any intimidation. All the issues that are being thrown at us are aimed at cowing us. None of it will work. For the record, this is the first time in the history of our Fourth Republic that a minority in Parliament is allowing a government to form, appoint its ministers in record time. For emphasis, we've been most cooperative with the NDC majority, but they are bullies. They bully, they intimidate, and if you don't stand strong, they will bully you, and will never be bullied. We've supported them. Even some of the nominations come to Parliament. Within 24, 48 hours, we allow vetting to take place. On that Thursday incident, we had an agreement. My deputy leader, who represented the caucus interest at the pre-sitting meeting, agreed with the chair of the committee to vet only 3 for the day, and that was the understanding. When we were done with the 3, they asked for 1 more. It changed to 4. When we were done with the 4, they asked for 1 more. As the final thing, we had the 5th person. We vetted them in record time. We were done, only to see that they had paraded 6 more nominees on the corridors of the committee building to be vetted. And this was 10 p.m. Apart from that, the NDC has resorted to ferrying its foot soldiers to come and intimidate us. The insults, the bullying, all the insinuations, the attack. Sometimes we'll be walking and they will be pushing us. The physical assault. We have brought this to the attention of Parliament Police. We are also going to beef up our security. The attacks are becoming one too many. We don't feel safe. All these gave rise to our posture on that night. We are law-abiding. MPP is known for its gentlemanliness. We don't go physical, but we had to protest. Protest is part of democracy. It's our right, far right. We protested. Mr. Speaker, and all those who are criticizing our conduct of Thursday night should critically watch the tape, the videos. We didn't set out to destroy public property. We didn't set out to disrupt. We protested. The NDC shut the door of engagement on us. They said they were a so-called supermajority. So they have majority. Whether we like it or not, they were going to vet. Suffice to state that in all the approvals so far, it's been done because we supported them. They claim not that they claim, it's a fact. They have over 180 seats, but they haven't been able to even marshal 110 since we started sitting. The maximum they've had, and each day we count their numbers. Each day, the maximum they've gotten is 104. And you don't use 104 to take a decision. You need a minimum of 138. It has always taken our side, always present, to support them. So we have not criticized the John Mahama administration at all. We've not opposed them. In all of this, it's been consensus upon consensus. It was only Ama Kofi Buet's situation that we nearly took a secret ballot on him. Even so, he graciously beat a retreat by apologizing for his conduct, his actions against President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. So we've been supportive, and they know. Let me call on the majority leader, who I so much respect, who has demonstrated a top-notch diplomatic posture, to tame the wild dogs who are obstructing government business. There are some elements in the NDC in Parliament who are overly aggressive, who believe that they might have their pound of flesh. They describe themselves as the avant-garde of government business. And all others who are moving to the extreme to cool down and engage. They sometimes create the impression that they are more powerful than the chairman. For those who have been watching proceedings, anytime the chairman allows proceedings to go on smoothly, they come in to disrupt, intimidating the chairman on their own side and insulting him. Sometimes I hear they come and tell the chairman to stop me from vetting. Now let's deal with the issue of my questions. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, sometimes we don't check the records. Members of the public. Today, because of ICT, everything is on the internet. People should go and check 1997, the J.H. Mensah vetting, minority leader. They should go to Abangbabin, and there I want to stay there for a while. Honorable Abangbabin, MP for Nadole Kalio, and minority leader, as he then was, grilled Kufuor's nominees for hours. Not a single nominee was spared. In my case, I've only been doing just a few of them. It's not every vetting that I participate. Sometimes I sit in my office and watch. Some of the people, we don't even ask them any questions. The few that we are taking them on, they cannot take it. They should go and check the records of their own minority leader, 2001 and 2005. They should go and watch it. The impatient, intolerant NDC. They will never tolerate the things they do to people. They can't even stand a minute of that, those. And then, they should also go and check the vetting of Harun Idrisu and Muntaka. These were two strong men who tackled our nominees. They should go and watch. They spent hours. Harun Idrisu spent hours on our nominees. Muntaka had unlimited questions. Muntaka was a deputy ranking. In my case, Mama Pat, my deputy, who is a deputy ranking, is given only 3 questions. The maximum she goes is 5. I invite the NDC aggressors, the intolerant foot soldiers, the intolerant extremists of the NDC who are attacking me and attacking our caucus, to go and check Muntaka Mubarak, who was even a deputy ranking. The unlimited number of questions that he had, showing videos and all. Their own darling boy Ablakwa, the unlimited opportunity he had, scrutinizing CVs. Today, when his CV is being scrutinized, he says he's a tenant. 15,000 Ghana cedis is all he did. No. Please, colleagues, wait. 15,000 cedis is what he disclosed as his regular income. And he said to the whole public that all he earns is what he gets from Parliament, 15,000 Ghana cedis. He doesn't do any other work. Yet he's able to afford airport hills for 8 years. Every month he pays. I leave it to the jury out there. To conclude, I want to zero in on the clerk to the committee. Some people, why our pronouncement on the clerk to the committee? the clerk to the committee is a partisan clerk. She is not a neutral professional clerk. She's caused us a lot of discomfort. We've tolerated, accommodated her. At this point, it's getting out of hand. She advertises at midnight. As a minority leader, I am to know those to be vetted the next day ahead of time. He doesn't share that with us. A lot of times I have to manage the pain, the frustration of my members and take responsibility. Committee reports. So far, I've accommodated this. All the reports we've been debating, not a single one of them was brought to me to have a look. The practice has always been that because it is majority and minority, yes, some people are saying, wow, because we accommodate, we are very tolerant. So we don't talk about some of these things. But today, for the public to appreciate why we had to go that way, I'm explaining. The essence of the report is for us to have all our input in. This lady, who with so much respect, will do none of that. But it's the same person who was a clerk when we were in government, who insisted on getting the minorities' input. What has changed? Okoto de Sanobuje. Okoto de Sanobuje, MPP dia. We will not allow ourselves to be taken for granted. A clerk to committee must be professional, must be neutral. She cannot be an armchair committee clerk and claim that she's been sending people. When she knows that whenever a report is ready, she must personally hand it over to the majority leader and the minority leader. Look at it. The practice has always been that committee report must be shared by the ranking and the chair so that we all make our input. She doesn't do any of that. We've reported it to the clerk, and we hope that the clerk, after engagement, will come back to us. For now, we don't want the clerk on the appointment committee again. We, the minority, are calling on her, on the clerk to parliament, to remove her from the appointment committee unless she's ready to turn a new leaf, to be a professional and engage us. To make matters worse, she's taken to insinuating against us on social media, particularly using her WhatsApp status. We've seen all of that. We've printed it. If she, as a clerk, wants to be an NDC activist, we expect her to resign and fully participate in the NDC politics and not to pretend that she's a parliamentary service staff and work against us. I've been a majority leader before. I've been a leader of government business before. I know what she took us through. My deputy is here. When we received the nomination of the judges and we had to vet them, deputy leader, who was then the acting chair, got the report ready and signed it. This woman says she will never sign unless and until Dr. Atuforsen has given her the go-ahead. That is what happened. She said she was waiting for the input of Dr. Forsen. I called her severally to my office. She would gently, courteously tell me, the leader, try and talk to Dr. Atuforsen before. And Atu was out of the country. For her to even advertise for the Supreme Court nominees to be vetted, she needed the consent of the minority. What has changed? Indeed, we are going through difficult moments, but we will never be intimidated. A luta continua. A luta continua. We will not allow ourselves to be cowed. I repeat, the mighty few, the happy few. We are going to stand our grounds and ensure that the right thing is done, all in the national interest. We are not going to fight anybody. We are not going to disrupt and obstruct government business. So far, we have been the most cooperative in the chamber, and the NDC should applaud us for supporting them. We rest our case. Thank you very much. General, We are the new patriotic party. We are the new patriotic party. The elephant is a winning symbol. We shall win to save Ghana. The elephant is a winning symbol. We shall win to save Ghana. We shall win to save Ghana, to save Ghana. We shall win to save Ghana. The elephant is a winning symbol. We shall win to save Ghana. Oh, the elephant is a winning symbol. We shall win to save Ghana. Yenara What this order seeks to achieve with the flying of drones, they can fly drones in my house, in Abelengpe, in Winneba. They can even bring all the national security gadgets. I will not surrender. They will be making a big mistake. Thank you very much. Yes.